This past weekend on Abataro Sentai Donbrothers, we got the debut of the upgrade form of the year, Goldon Momotaro. And today, I want to talk all about this brand new form, and also talk about the more recent premium Bandai announcement of the Black Onitaijin Murasame. So this is all pretty old news at this point. Both of these items have actually debuted in the show now, and are toys that you can pre-order now or actually purchase right now, but I never got a chance to share my thoughts on them when they dropped a couple of weeks ago because I've been so busy with everything for school and other stuff for the channel. So today, we're going to talk about some updates going on in Donbrothers. So first up for today, we have Goldon Momotaro. So of course, this is our obligatory Red Ranger power-up of the year. We get this every single year for Sentai, and sometimes it's like a full team upgrade, like the Gokira Majors, where they can kind of swap it around, or other times it's something like this, or like Super Zen Kaiser from last year, or something like that, to where it really only benefits the Red Ranger. Now, technically, probably, this could be used by other Donbrothers. You can fit it onto the Dawn Blaster for anybody, but obviously it's marketed heavily to be specifically for Don Momotaro and Don Momotaro only. And I like this form a lot. So we actually got to see this form like a month and a half ago, thanks to a leak of the box for the upcoming Yudo candy toy figure for it. So that's where we got our first look at the form, and then we had like a silhouette of it in like a Telebukun issue. And then a couple of weeks ago, it was like officially revealed when they showed off the toy, and we had like a detailed Heroes look at it, and a bunch of different magazines kind of showed us everything that we wanted to see of it before it actually debuted this past weekend. And I really do like it a lot, like I'd said. I think that having the Don Momotaro like head on the chest is a pretty neat design, and I really like the shoulder pads, but honestly the helmet is what really gets it for me. I like that they replaced the tiny little like hair thing he has up there with like a new kind of style, and I think the golden visor really looks cool. I love the name though. The name is like a top tier pun in my opinion, Goldon Momotaro, so you still have the Dawn in there, but you have like the Dawn part or Din part or whatever you want to call it, Golden. I love that kind of pun like mechanics there, and I think Bandai and Toei did a fantastic job with that. So we knew that this form was going to be coming for a very long time. It got leaked in toy listings from Matt Hunt months ago at this point, as these things typically do. And in those original rumors, we knew that there was going to be some sort of Phoenix device that could clip into the Dawn Blaster and also could combine with Don Onitaijin. But also in that rumor, it had said something about giving armor to the Senpaijers. Now, technically, we still don't know if that component of that is true. It might be. However, this armor looks pretty Donbrothers specific, so I don't really know if they actually are going to be giving armor to the Senpaijers, which a lot of people kind of speculated that that was just going to be like they would summon Gokai Red and then he would have the armor on or something like that, which could still be happening, but I'm not 100% sure if that was just some kind of weird translation or something. There is special functionality with the toy that unlocks this form, which I'm going to talk about here in like a real quick second. Basically, we do see some functionality with the Senpaijer gears with that toy, but we just don't know if it's actually going to do anything in the show other than just probably like finisher attacks, as it kind of seems to be. So to transform into this form, he uses the Deluxe Omikoshi Phoenix. Now this is a changer and a mecha at the same time, so it's one of those kind of toys because they can clip into the Deluxe Dawn Blaster like I had mentioned, because we knew ever since we saw this toy, and I'll grab it right here, we knew ever since we saw this toy that this like whole rail system above where like the finisher button was clearly going to lead to something like sliding into it or clipping into it or something like that. And that's exactly what this does. So it adds like a giant like feature, or kind of giant like thing on the top of the gun that does have functionality with that infrared scanner port and knows which gears you put into the actual Dawn Blaster itself to give you special sounds. It also does special sounds on its own. It has some buttons and stuff like that. I think it even has a little light in the front and everything like that. I like it quite a bit. I think the chrome on it looks pretty nice with like on the wings of the Phoenix, and I do like the design of it. It definitely adds a lot of bulk to the Dawn Blaster, but I'm really looking forward to taking a look at the toy because it is literally on the way to me right now from HLJ. It's in my next HLJ box, so we're going to be taking a look at that probably sometime early next week at this point, which I am very excited to see what it does and everything like that. It comes with a gear. Now, I don't know exactly what this gear does. I am a little bit behind on Donbrothers, but looking at the episode, I don't think it does anything to transform him into Goldon Momotaro, because he still has the regular Don Momotaro Avataro gear in his Dawn Blaster. So I'm pretty sure that this is probably for the combination, because like I said, it's a changer and a mecha, so you can also combine it with the Deluxe Don Onitaijin to make Omikoshi Onitaijin, probably. I don't actually know what this form is called, now that I'm thinking about it. I'll probably put it up on screen like here or something like that, to actually clarify it. But as you can see with this form, you get a giant spear for Don Onitaijin, which the gear is kind of in that component with that. And you can also see that it adds like a big like chest plate, kind of, you know, with the phoenix wings and everything like that. And then a very obvious like helmet being part of a shield, which of course is going to be for the final combination of Donbrothers, which we know is going to involve the Omikoshi Phoenix along with the Toradora Gojin and Don Onitaijin, but we don't know exactly what that's going to look like yet, or what components they're going to use of those toys, except for like that face, because that face is so obviously clear there. It has been fun to kind of see people sort of speculate what the final combination would be, or kind of make their own thing with the components that we have, because Bandai just is being very secretive about it. It's apparently not in the instructions for the Omikoshi Phoenix, nor is it advertised on the box. So there could be like another component to it that we don't have a toy of yet, but pretty much the Omikoshi Phoenix was the last retail Donbrothers item that we knew about, that and also the vinyl figure. I should probably mention that there is a vinyl figure for Goldon Momotaro if you want to get that thing. But besides those two last like main big items, we had no listings as of yet for anything else retail for Donbrothers. Everything else seems to be premium, as it usually is this late into the game. But yeah, very interesting kind of things there. And then there was some demonstrations on the Bandai Mania channel that show that the Omikoshi Phoenix with the Dawn Blaster has special finisher attack sounds from the Senpaijers. Basically, there's like, you know, sounds from Gokaiger through Zenkaiger. Donbrothers has unique stuff, and then if it's Go Ranger through Goseiger, it just plays a generic legend sound. It even does that with Chukaiser and a bunch of other stuff like that. So we'll get into all that functionality and show it off in my review of it next week. But that is kind of the general what you need to know or what's going on right now with the Omikoshi Phoenix from Momotaro Sentai Donbrothers. But as I had mentioned, it is premium Bandai time for Donbrothers, as it usually always is around this time of the year. A lot of stuff that shows up becomes premium Bandai because the retail lines kind of are dwindling out, getting ready for the next thing. Because we're already only a couple of months away from like official pictures and toy listings for Kinoger, which is just crazy. Donbrothers went by in like 5 seconds. We're like in the 30s of Donbrothers, which is nuts. But premium Bandai, there's two things I want to talk about here today that are some recent stuff related to Donbrothers. And first of all, I want to revisit the Yudo Noto set. So the Yudo Noto set was originally announced back in August, and I had mentioned it in my big video of that week that Bandai just would not stop announcing premium Bandai stuff. And what's really, really cool to me, and I love this, so they did a blog update kind of showing off the more finished prototypes of the Noto set because it is going to be released this December. And recently in the show, Sunoi got an upgrade to his suit that gave him a new like chest piece. And I was wondering, I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people were too, but when I first saw that, I was like, oh great. Is that going to be another figure that they can sell us? You know, is that something that was too late to make it into the set? No. So they actually revealed that that upgraded shield piece for Sonoi's suit is going to be included with the Yudo Noto set. What's really, really cool about it too is that basically they didn't even know about it when they were developing the set. So they went into detail in the blog about how while the other chest pieces included with the Noto are fully painted and detailed and everything like that, this one is not going to be like that. It is going to have sticker detailing instead because they didn't know about it and they weren't able to like factor it into their paint budget, but they were able to include it at like the last minute. So which is really, really cool and just goes to show once again how the candy toy department at Bandai for both Rider and especially more recently for Sentai are killing it. They're doing fantastic work. I love when they do that kind of stuff. So if you were wondering if you were going to be able to replicate Sonoi's upgrade form with that new shield piece, you're going to be able to do it, and they're not selling you an entirely different figure to do so. You're not going to be able to have them displayed at the same time, but I don't really think a lot of people were probably planning on doing that anyway, so I think this really works out for everybody in the end. So if you've already pre-ordered that, you're going to get that. Now the big premium Bandai item that was dropped for Donbrothers a couple of weeks ago, and unfortunately there's a pretty big time window thing about this item that's already passed. But oh man, so they are doing a deluxe premium Bandai release of the Black Onitaijin Murasame, which, oh jeez, this thing looks beautiful. So we had a little bit of rumors for this a couple of months ago, and it was 100% true. So they're releasing a black evil version of Don Onitaijin on premium Bandai. And if that wasn't cool enough, it has optional pieces to become Don Onitaijin or Black Onitaijin Murasame. So this is the brand new mecha that just debuted for Don Murasame in the show. Basically, he has his own Robotaro components that can form into an evil version of Don Onitaijin and then get like special Murasame pieces. So what's really cool about this is you're going to get those pieces, but you're also going to get the full regular Don Onitaijin pieces, because basically what it does is it changes the helmets and like the chest plates and the swords. So you're going to get everything you're going to want with that. Unfortunately, The Murasame pieces don't have anywhere to go when it's like in the individual Robotaro forms, which I know is a little annoying for some people. But what's really, really neat about these two different forms is that the box has like display options for either one of the forms, and it's kind of mimicking the original Don Onitaijin box art, which was already absolutely gorgeous. And this toy, oh man, it gets me. I hate this because I like Don Onitaijin is a fun toy. I personally don't love Don Onitaijin as much as everybody else does, but I do fully understand and recognize that it is a pretty impressive Sentai mecha. It's sitting there behind me in my Donbrothers display, but I don't really do anything with it. It is very nicely articulated and it does look very nicely detailed, but it just kind of sits there and doesn't do anything, which, like, yeah, that's what every Sentai mecha toy does, but I don't know. Like, basically for me, in terms of budgeting out kind of things, we have a Memorial Gokai Saber going up this week at the time of this recording. That takes absolutely more top priority to me than this. However, I really do like how this looks a lot. I love evil repaints of Sentai Mecha. I love black and gold repaints of Sentai Mecha. Purple is one of my all-time favorite colors, hence the neon sign in the background. And like, doing that all together for a mecha toy that's already very impressive is super, super tempting. It's $198 on Tokullecitbles, so that's absolutely not going to happen anytime soon for me, unfortunately, but it does come out this February 2023. Now, what I was talking about with that kind of time constraint with this, and this is kind of an unfortunate thing of how long it took me to do a video on these two things, because I think both of these were shown off or revealed 3 weeks ago, at least 2 weeks ago, if not 3 weeks ago. And basically, if you had pre-ordered the Black Onitaijin Murasame by October 8th, you would actually get the Robotaro gear that unlocked that form, which, looking at the gear combinations, it's the same one as the Don Onitaijin promotional one that was out a couple months ago, and which was also the same as just the regular Don Robotaro gear. It doesn't really do anything super special or anything like that. It is our first black gear, so we can add that to the color schemes of red, gold, translucent yellow, translucent blue, purple, and now black. So it was, I guess, an inevitability that we would get an evil gear like that, and it is very, very pretty. This kind of whole early bird ordering kind of thing that Bandai keeps doing is getting a little annoying. We saw this a couple of months ago with the Komodo Dragon Vi stamp for Ryuki that you had to get only if you pre-ordered the Deathstream driver within like a period of time, and now they're doing that again here. So Tokullecitbles does still have the actual toy up for pre-order right now, but they have a little disclaimer that you're not guaranteed to get one with this gear anymore. I'm sure that they ordered a bunch right when the process started, and that they have probably a couple orders left over that would still qualify to get that gear. But basically, you were guaranteed to get it if you ordered it by October 8th on Premium Bandai, and I assume also on Tokullecitbles. But ordering it now, you're not guaranteed to get that gear. And I get it because it entices people to buy it more earlier in the campaign than the people that would kind of wait it out and get it towards the end, and that probably allows them to get maybe a little bit of a better gauge on like how many people actually want or how many they should actually make. So I do understand where that kind of business practice comes from, but in terms of these very big, very expensive premium Bandai items, it is rather annoying to have to decide right away if you want the toy. Now, for the most part, if I pre-order something from Premium Bandai, or I know I'm going to pre-order something from Premium Bandai, I do order it like right away because I like to get Tokullecitbles early bird price, and Tokullecitbles ships their orders in the order that they get them, so I try to just be as early with it as possible. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of a weird thing back and forth. I get it, but I don't know if I necessarily like it. But this toy looks beautiful. I absolutely love this thing. I love the purple swords. I love the whole look of it. And what's really, really cool, one thing I don't want to forget to mention, is that the actual Murasame Robotaro, or the Don, I don't know what you actually would call these at this point, but the main component that would be Don Momotaro, it is actually using the upgraded version of the Don Robotaro that they're selling separately for the original Don Onitaijin, the one that allows it to have more extra articulation and stuff like that. So if you were curious if this one was going to have the upgraded version of that like body mold or the more original deluxe toy, they are giving you the premium upgraded articulation version right out the gate with this one, which is very, very much appreciated. It would have been kind of dumb if they didn't do that, so it makes perfect sense that they're doing it here, and it's, I think, a really appreciated, welcome addition to this toy. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. And with that, that wraps up my discussion on some of the more recent Donbrothers toys, such as the Omikoshi Phoenix and the Black Onitaijin Murasame. So let me know down in the comments below, are you picking up either of these items? Do you already have your Omikoshi Phoenix, or is it on the way right now? Are you planning on picking up the Black Onitaijin Murasame? Whatever you want to talk about down in the comments below, let me know. It's definitely possible. We're not done with very expensive premium Bandai Donbrothers stuff yet, because there was a tweet that came out actually earlier today at the time of this recording that seems to hint or imply that a Memorial Edition Dawn Blaster is going to be a thing in the near future, along with a bunch of other very scary, very expensive stuff that I definitely want premium Bandai to do, but not right now. I'm looking at you, Memorial Edition Gokai gun that apparently might be a thing. Of course it will be, though, because they're announcing the sword, or they're putting the sword up at the end of this week, which I'm so terrified for. But we're going to talk about that later on this week when that goes up, because, I'm going to have some words. But until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LandingFigPR, and I'll see you all next time.